All right, my friends, thank you for joining me this morning. Do you want to hear something funny? At least I think it is. I recently received my latest edition of Reader's Digest. I started subscribing to them about a year ago. I've been reading them kind of on and off all my life. And in their section called Life in these United States, there's a funny anecdote related where I guess maybe the staff of Reader's Digest mined this tweet and just is just posting this. And so this person on Twitter named Kimmy Monty wrote this, said, "My mother has a medical podcast where she self-diagnoses her ailments. It's called My Voicemail, and it happens every morning at 9 a.m. That's pretty funny. Pretty funny. She called it her podcast. You know, it's funny at the same time it's not. And here's the reason why. Because we're not talking about a real medical crisis here, okay? Let's be very clear. This is a mother who just has these anxieties. She's so absorbed in what might be happening to her, and she's kind of taking advantage of her adult child and getting into her ear and into her head. And this is what she does to sort of self-medicate, right? Do you relate to this at all? Maybe you do it. Maybe you have some of your life who does it to you. This affects both parties, though. All right? The mother has set herself up. She's set the stage to have a bad day. All right? Because she probably started the night before, and it's just an ongoing issue with her. And she's always thinking about what could be going wrong. And then she puts that on somebody else. Well, especially if you're doing this to your child, they're going to be concerned about you. And after a while, they may not be because you're just annoying them. Like I said, we're not talking about a real medical issue. This is a habit. This is a lifestyle. Okay, and so this adult child has to go throughout the rest of their day with having one of the first things they've heard be something negative. About 3.5 years ago, I made a video called something like Living in the Glow, the guiding principle of Pete Carroll, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. I really like this guy. And just to give you the short of the long, he was interviewed by somebody. He says, I never think about what could be going wrong. I always think about what could go right. And if you're not doing that every morning, if you're not doing that even, like I said, with this woman, it probably started the night before. If you're not always thinking about what could be going right, and all you're thinking about is what could be going wrong, and then you're embedding your voice in someone else's ear and in their head, you're dragging two people down. You need to ask yourself, am I doing this to anybody else? Or is somebody doing this to me? If somebody's doing it to you, you might need to draw some boundaries and say, look, I care about you and I'm concerned for you if you have a real issue. But at the same time, you're kind of making me have a bad day from the very beginning. I mean, I could have a better day. I might not be having the most horrible one, but I could be having a better day if you weren't doing this all the time. And if you stop and examine yourself and think, hey, I might be the one doing it, you probably need to back off and stop altogether. And you do that by asking yourself, what could be going right? Don't take up someone else's time and put things into their head that will just be as negative as what you're thinking. Okay? They don't need that. They don't need that. Give that some thought. All right? You know, just consider all the things that could go right. And you can do that by also being thankful. Count your blessings. Name them one by one. Try that out. That might make a big difference. All right. I'll catch you on the next one. Be wise.